Oh, hey, what was that? What are you? What are you? I just saw something peek around the corner of room 5, a little white whoosh, just for a second. There's a lot of activity happening right now throughout the hotel. I'm trying to capture that door opening on camera.
Give us a sign. Move something.
When the devil's in the mood, nightmares come pouring out of hell.
My name is Elaine Crane and I'm the innkeeper here at Riders Inn. When we first opened the inn after the renovation, a lady came through on a Sunday morning. We opened on a Friday in the middle of Hugo, the hurricane. This lady came through on a walker with a person that was assisting her, and I had a tray full of dishes because we had a Sunday brunch going on. And the woman turned to her caregiver and she said, "Oh, I hope Mrs. Crane doesn't open that door. It's sealed against Suzanne." And I put the tray down with a loud clank, broke a dish, I think. And I said, "Excuse me, who are you?" And she said, "I am the great-great-granddaughter of Joseph Ryder. And I grew up at the inn, and the door is sealed against Suzanne." That's the door right there. And I said, "Why? Who's Suzanne, and what do you mean it's sealed against her?" And I had placemats, not these, but placemats on the table, and she started telling me stories, and I am literally writing on every piece of paper I can find, napkins, placement. She talked to me for about 2 hours and brought me up to date on the Ryder's family. Mr. Ryder was married and was a sergeant in the Revolutionary War, and he fought on behalf of the colony of Connecticut. And Connecticut was the only one of the original 13 colonies that was pro-British. So they weren't ready for independence. They hadn't printed money. They didn't have any real National Guard. So when the war started, they had to conscript people. They had sent a settlement out here to a place called Arcola Creek, which is to the east of Painesville, called Ashtabula. Okay? And people in Chicago call it Ashtabula. It's Ashtabula. And it's an Indian word that means two waters that come together and make a safe harbor. That's what that means. And they were massacred by the French trappers and the Indians because they were going to stay here and they didn't want them to. Well, the rumor was that it was the British failed to protect them. So that is what turned the Connecticut public opinion against the British. So the Revolutionary War occurred, the war was over, the Continental Congress is there, and the representatives from Connecticut petitioned the Continental Congress to award them the property between the 41st and the 42nd parallel, all the way to the Mississippi River that was known, and it was called the Northwest Territory, and it was us. So Mr. Ryder received land in payment for his services as opposed to money. And he received this area between here, south to here, about 8 miles, in a section that was 640 acres between Route 20 and Route 84. And he brought his family out here. Well, he came first to settle, to build a cabin, and then he called for his wife. He had 2 children in Connecticut. His wife came out here and complained about the state of the roads. Nothing has changed in 2018. And she died in childbirth with their 3rd child. Then he met a local woman whose name was Roseanne, and she was 4 foot high and 4 foot wide, and rather jolly. And she actually bore him 12 children. And she's the one that said, "Joseph, build me an inn. I'm tired of having your customers come and stay overnight, and I'm the innkeeper, I'm feeding them," and because he was a tool maker and an inventor, and she was the pretty good cook. The original building was one story with a half story above. Those stairs that you took pictures of were on the outside of the building, and the two pillars where the ladies are playing bingo was the surround for the original fireplace. And this was the kitchen, and that was all a grassy area over there. Well, he hired Jonathan Goldsmith, who was the architect of the Western Reserve, and he designed the building as you see it now, with a few exceptions. Okay, the dining room wasn't there, the kitchen wasn't as it is now. And so
The dining room is an addition, correct?
it's the modern edition in 1900.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured
Okay. Yeah. And so what happened is Rosie died of a heart attack climbing those stairs, and he was left with 15 children. And so there was one spinster lady in Painesville. Her name was Suzanne Hitchcock, and she was the only child of a widower that owned all the timber rights in this county area, Lake, Geauga, and Trumbull counties. And so she was very wealthy. It's just as easy to fall in love with a rich woman as a poor woman. And her wedding story described her as radiant as could be, the ugliest woman in Painesville. And she always wore white. And she was married to him for about 6 weeks when there's a death certificate that she passed away in that room that was under construction at the time. And within 6 weeks of her death, he married Elizabeth, who bore him twins within 6 months.
Amen.
So the inference, there was never a coroner's inquest, there was never any charges filed for murder, but the rumor is, and the psychics say, that Suzanne was poisoned by Joseph so he could get her money. Back then, when a man married a woman, she lost her independence. She couldn't sign any contracts, she couldn't manage her own money. We fixed it now, it's the other way around. And so he went from a struggling, don't look at him, look at me. We went from a struggling income to the second wealthiest man in Painesville. And he finished the inn with Suzanne's money. And so the psychics that come in here say that she has remained here to protect her investment. And that she likes me because I'm the first woman that has owned the inn. Okay? So the inn continued on after Suzanne's death. Elizabeth had the ultimate revenge. She outlived him. And then the family had the inn until they lost it at the beginning of the World War I because of the depression that hit then. And it was sold to two ladies that ran it. We don't know anything about them other than they served a peach salad. We found a postcard referring to it. And then those ladies were drafted into World War I because they were cooks. Women were subject to the draft in World War I if they could handle horses, they could cook, or they could fly that newfangled thing called an aeroplane. And we had 8 airports in this area, and they were all women pilots. In World War I, not 2, 1. And the word airport was coined in Cleveland because the first U.S. mail was transferred from Cleveland Airport to Detroit Port, so it became airport. The word was coined in Cleveland, Ohio.
And of course, airplanes were developed in
Cleveland.
this state.
Right.
By
Okay.
the Wright brothers.
So all those things were going on. Well, after the family took over the running of the inn, that door never stayed shut. It's a tradition when you guys came in, remember the door was propped open? It was propped open this morning. The tradition in the old Stagecoach's Inn is if you could accommodate a traveler, you would prop the door open so the stagecoach would stop. If the door was closed, it meant you were full or unopened, and they'd keep going. Because once the stagecoach stopped, people didn't want to get back on because it was a really uncomfortable way to ride. People got seasick, they threw up, you were on the business end of a horse, and you had dust and everything. Okay. So they couldn't keep the door shut. So one of Joseph Ryder's grandsons nailed it shut. And during the renovation stage, when I got it, the fire department said we had to have another method of egress. And I didn't want to spend the $10,000 to build the back stairs, the fire escape. So I was going to open the door. And while I am counting the nails in it, there were over 100, one of my workmen came in and said, Mrs. Crane, how did you get to work today? And I said, what do you mean? He said, all 4 tires on your truck are flat. And I had just driven it to work. And then while I am counting the thing, my contractor is on the other side of the door. He ended up on his butt. We used to have bushes in the front yard, in the bushes. And he said, who pushed me? I said, I didn't. He said, well, somebody pushed me. And he was sitting with his feet up in the air. It was really kind of funny. And I'm laughing, you know. And he said, and his name was Jim Doyle, a little Irishman. And he looked at me and he says, let's build a fire escape. I'll do it for $5,000. I went, oh, okay. Because he was superstitious that we shouldn't open the door. And so Mrs. Brainerd was telling me all of these stories while she was sitting here on the day we opened up. And she's telling me, don't open the door because it's sealed against Suzanne. She'll keep opening the door and you will have no security. And then she told me about all the stories that I just told you. And
So where is Suzanne supposed to be?
any place she wants to be. My only real encounter with her was during the renovation stage, before I knew about Mrs. Brainerd.
What year was the renovation?
1988.
1988. And this building was originally built in 1812, correct?
Yeah, it opened June 16th, 1812. It took about a year to build.
Gotcha.
During the renovation stage, room 7, which you have not seen yet, but the ladies have checked out, it had some beautiful tile on the wall. The tile that is in the bathroom in room 11. And it was Italian tile, and it was finished on both sides. It was absolutely gorgeous. You've seen it. And so I asked my workmen if they could move the tile, and they gave me a really high quote with a comma in it, because it had to be taken off the wall very slowly with a chisel and a little hammer. So I decided that I was going to do it on a Sunday. My husband was playing golf. I'm watching out there. No one's going to take anything. We are not Chicago. In fact, they might bring it in and say somebody left something on your porch. I was doing the renovations, and it was room 7. And I was and I was standing on a milk crate. I was in flip-flops and shorts and a tank top, and I was listening to the Indians on the radio, and I was just miles away. My mind was going, and the dust was flying, and I was chipping them off and putting them in an apron that I had to preserve them to take them over to room 11. And the Indians were behind, and the bottom of the 9th, we had loaded the bases, and we would have won. And Omar Vizquel, my favorite player, stepped up to the bat, and the count was 3-2, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the son of a bitch struck out, and I went, oh shit. And I hit the wall too hard. And the lathing pulled away from the wall, knocked me off my perch, sliced me from here to here. I'm laying with the wall on top of me, with the tile on top of me, dust everywhere. And the tile that had broken and had sliced me was in my rib cage. So that when I tried to move, it pressed even tighter. I was wearing my hair in a bun, which kind of cushioned the back of my head, but it was still, when accidents happen, it was often slow motion. And I'm laying there, and I can feel the blood running around my waistline. Well, we had a cat that was a working cat. His name was Sasha, and he was chasing the mice and doing things, a little black cat. And I screamed. No, you know where room 7 is. It's in the crotch of the building. Nobody knew I was here. I was working alone. My family was scattered. There was nobody next door. But I called out for help. Nobody heard me. And I thought, what a horrible place to bleed to death before we were open. And I was really scared, and I could not move because my stomach muscles were not strong enough to push the wall off of me. And the pain from the tile that was razor sharp hurt even more. So I just lay there, and I trying to figure out what to do. I tried to wiggle, and I felt something brush the back of my hair, and I thought it was the cat. And when it brushed the back of my hair, I jumped, and I got my shoulder out. And when you can get your shoulder out, you can squirm. And I dealt with the pain, and I stood up, and I had blood from my waist, from my under my bra, down to my knees. So I immediately went to the hospital, and I'm standing in the emergency room, and the lady said, "Yeah, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I have a problem." She said, "Oh my God," I was dripping blood on the floor. Stitches later, refusing a blood transfusion later, they found my husband. He came in Tylenol 3 because I was in pain, and we're driving back to the house, and he's lecturing me about not working alone and all that sort of stuff. And you all have mothers. What do mothers say when you're starting to leave the house? Did I close the windows and did I lock the door, right? Mothers all say that. Same came out of my mouth. I'm now on Tylenol 3, so I'm not feeling any pain. So we went in, and he said, "Tell me where the accident happened." So we went up the stairs, and we went to room 7. The dust had settled on the blood that was on the floor. And there on the floor were my clip-clop footprints and woman's high-heel shoes. No cat paws. And my husband said, "Who helped you?" And I said, "I don't know." And that was my first experience.
Did you get pictures of that by chance?
What?
Did you get pictures of the
No, of
footprints?
course not. I was recovering from an emergency room trip, and I
Yeah.
didn't know about ghosts. I didn't believe in ghosts.
You know, I will say this: if you had passed away that day, you would have made a great ghost.
Thanks for the generosity of your concern for me. You really want to keep this guy as part of your group?
People would be like, "I don't know, this lady keeps smacking me upside the head every time I open my mouth."
I don't have to die to do that, you know. Anyways, that's the beginning of the stories. And then we have lots and lots of stories where there will be a fire in a wastebasket back in the smoking inside days, and people throw live ashes in the wastebasket, and I'll be asleep in my quarters, and I'll wake up, I heard my name. And now when I wake up and I hear my name, I don't even roll over. I come out to see if the building's in danger. A little bit of fire, somebody in the building.
Right, yeah.
We had a guy having a heart attack when I got my name called, and I was able to call 911 and save his life. Something woke me up and told me to come.
And they all go back to Suzanne?
I think it's her. I think she's being vigilant and watching over her investment and the people that are in it. We've never had anybody report anything evil happen to them.
Not at all.
I have an interesting question for you. When you pass away, do you believe you will haunt this place?
No, I have another mission.
Okay.
I'm going after the pin, man in the White House. Well, I have hidden under the desk in the Oval Office
Oh.
with my boyfriend,
Okay.
under the Washington.
I was gonna ask if it had something to do with Bill Clinton, but all right.
No.
No, Elaine, this all started when Lexi asked you about that dress.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about Mrs. Brainerd, when she passed away, sent me Suzanne's nightgown, which is that one. She sent me the round table that's in the hall at the top of the stairs, and she sent me the mirror that had belonged to Suzanne. When we hung the mirror in room 11, the wall cracked from one end to the other, and we had to fix it. Well, the nightgown moves around the inn. Sometimes it's on the bed, sometimes it's hanging in the closet, sometimes it's on the tree horse, clothes tree that's in the room. Well, we had some people stay with us, and they stole the nightgown. And I have 2 different housekeepers, so the housekeeper from Friday didn't report it, the housekeeper from Saturday didn't report it, and the housekeeper from Friday came in on Sunday, she said, "Where's the nightgown?" And we didn't know if it was the people on Friday night or the people on Saturday night. So we gently asked them if they'd seen the nightgown, and they didn't. We had a lady named Mrs. Smith, she had her first name, but I've forgotten it, whose son was into Gothic stuff, and he was taking advantage of his mother. She was tarnished aristocracy from the Tidewater of Virginia. She had no money left, but she had the family silver, the family jewels, and all the things, the trappings of wealth, but she was on minimum Social Security. And she came up here for her son that was the apple of her eye, and she took a liking to the inn. And so she'd come in and eat dinner and leave us a silver spoon as payment. So I have an entire set of sterling silver, Francis I silverware, that she left for me, one instrument at a time. Well, we have this great Halloween party in honor of Mr. Suzanne. You have to have an invitation from Mr. Suzanne. And we send it out, and not everybody can come because it's a special party in her honor. And Mrs. Smith was invited. And one of the prizes for the drawing is an opportunity to spend Halloween night in Mr. Suzanne's bedroom. We've never had anybody spend the whole night. We had one guy close. His costume was chainmail, and it rusted. But he clanked out of here anyways.
No.
And Halloween night is not always when the party is. The party's always the Saturday before. Well, Mrs. Smith, we kind of fixed the drawing so that she won. And she knew about it. The nightgown had been stolen for a couple of years. Suzanne likes roses, so she brought a real red rose. She picked it from somebody's garden, I'm sure. And she bought a box that was this big with a big red bow on it and her costume. And she spent the night in Suzanne's room. In the box was a nightgown, the nightgown that's in the room, that she made from fabric that she brought from Virginia that was from 1812. And she hand sewed that nightgown. And she presented it to Suzanne with the rose. And she's accepted it because now it moves like the other one.
Wow.
And so that's the nightgown in room 11.
1812 is a very important date on this trip as well. We got to see the Perry's Victory Memorial, which was about the War of 1812, and this place was built in 1812. The story you just told.
It's a part of Ohio.
Yeah. When was Ohio founded?
1803.
Okay. What is the best, guest story from here? Like, as far as guests reporting incidents?
We've had many stories, but there was one that was about 8 to 10 years ago, in which I was in the back office sleeping in my quarters, and I was awakened by my name, and I went all through the building and I didn't see anything wrong. And I went back to lie down, and the deck that's in the back building is right off my office, but at the time it had not been built. It was outdoor stairs that went down to the basement, like roof cellar stairs with the doors that open from the side, like
storm
wings.
doors.
Okay, so you could not look in that window because there was no platform. And I looked out the window and I saw a face with a riding hat, a black riding hat, with a long.
Look, its straw just moved.
Yeah, I saw it.
I swear to you.
What happened?
This straw, it just wiggled.
That may be me with my hands. Anyways, the bottom line is, I saw this face and I said, it was a ugly woman's face, and I said, Suzanne, what is it? And the head turned to look towards the parking lot. So I got out of bed, went outside, and the air conditioner in room 11 was on fire. It was sparking. I don't know why I did that. I went and got a hose. Water that goes up comes down, right? I'm trying to squirt it with the hose, to put it out. Eventually I got enough water out there that sparked it, blew the fuses, and the fire stopped. Okay? And I went back to bed. In the morning, the people in the room 11 complained it was really hot and that they didn't have any power in half the room because I'd blown the fuses. And I explained to them that I thought there was a problem with their air conditioner, blah, 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 and they went hence. Monday morning, I'm telling the same lady that is waiting here as my secretary, I'm telling her that I think Suzanne saved the inn, but she woke me up because there was a fire starting. And I said, she had a white face with a long pointed nose and one of those riding hats that women wore when they rode side saddle. And Cherry said, is this the picture? And a guest who had stayed in room 11 2 weeks before had emailed me a picture of a woman in the same hat that was in the window in room 3.
All right, listeners, this is Joe Erie. We're from the Writers Inn, Ohio, Paynesville. Right off the bat, opened the door, walked in. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good night. Tonight, with us, we have
Sorry,
Jason.
I have fries in my mouth. Jason Knight.
We have
You have to edit all this out.
Oscar Spectre, producer extraordinaire.
and we also have,
Lexi Raven.
along with,
Dave Black.
and what do you guys feel like? I mean, I'm loving this place already.
Well,
I'm loving it as well.
so
Terrible idea. I think we should eat first.
we're kind of no. We're kind of tripping over what we're saying because they made a wonderful meal for us when we came in. So our mouths are full with delicious food, but we want to record.
May I have another Coca-Cola?
We want to record so we don't really forget anything.
Thank you so much.
And just kind of give our first impressions of the Writers Inn, as Joe said, here in Paynesville, Ohio. You guys know I don't feel anything. Listeners know by now. Jason Knight, Oscar Spectre, we're two of the cement bricks of the group. We don't have that gift you and Dave have. I could tell you. Curse, yeah, gift, curse. And Lexi has. You're right. I apologize. I can tell you as soon as we came in, got to our table, where the owner, Elaine, set us up to have this wonderful meal. And as she was setting out the place settings, you know, the what do you call these things? Placemats and the silverware bundles, right in front of me, one of those silverware bundles, when she put it down, she moved on to the next placemat, one of those silverware bundles skidded over to the left, all by itself.
And these tables are level. There's no like.
Tables are level. Yeah, none of that. Tables are level. I heard the scraping, kind of shuffling sound of the silverware, and I saw it with my eyes. That
anything?
silverware bundle.
Feel anything underneath the table?
No, there's no magnets. This is actually probably a inch and a half thick table. I don't experience anything. I saw that and heard that with my own eyes and ears, and that was when we just got here. So, Lexi, I hope I'm not taking your thunder, but as we're sitting here, Dave's politicking, of course. Lexi's getting tapped on the arm. She's getting the shivers and the chills. And go ahead, explain. I'm taking your thunder. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Dave and Elaine
Elaine
were talking.
Elaine's the owner.
Elaine is the owner, yes. And I was just sitting, not really participating because it was something I personally do not like to talk about. And I just got chills rush up my body, and seconds later, 2 taps on my arm. And then I looked around me. Oscar was on this side, but it happened on like the arm where there was no one next to me. So I was like, oh, okay, hello there. And yeah, since then, like I felt like a presence like on top of me. Like it was almost hard to breathe. Like I couldn't.
Oscar?
No, it was not Oscar yet.
Oscar, what's your opinion on that?
I agree, yet.
Anyway, so it felt like she was like sitting on top of me. Like I could feel the energy. And like I was trying to say, hey, someone tapped me, but when I opened, it was just so strong I couldn't speak the words.
And now, mind you, we haven't even been here an hour at that point. I mean, it started happening right away. Owner, gracious, very welcoming, inviting, treating us like kings and queens. I just want to put that out there. Writers Inn, Paynesville.
At least prince and princesses.
Yeah,
I'm
Writers.
the queen.
That she is the queen. Exactly. Writers Inn, Paynesville.
And
so
Dave's the
far-
princess.
I'm Beyonce.
So far, very, very impressive. So.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought as soon as I walked in, I was like, boom.
I just walked to the kitchen. This is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
What did you just say to me?
I asked her if she could feel it. I said, someone wants some attention tonight.
Could you say that again, Mike? I'm sorry.
This is Mike, the cook.
Yeah. Someone wants some attention. If I can feel it, there's a little bit of activity in the air.
Is somebody wanting attention? Is that one of us or
No,
a spirit?
Here,
Okay.
the inn.
Okay.
It has its own aura. You know, it's its own life. Yeah, I felt it earlier. Was when you guys walked in.
Because I mean, my perspective on it too is I noticed that energies, spirits, they notice the people that notice. So, and they come after the ones that can know. And as soon as I was just saying before you walked out, as soon as I walked in, usually it takes a little bit. I was just overwhelmed, and I was just pushed right into the bar in this area. And when we're sitting down, I almost feel like it's observing us right now and watching us and getting to know each one of us, just in the background. But it's I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, good.
I've heard that from some men before.
Whoa! Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Dave, what were your first impressions?
Obviously, walking into the building, you can feel the presence. I kind of feel like as soon as we walked in, it sort of retreated a little bit, but I can definitely feel it in this front bar area. And I walked back into the dining room, and I did feel some stuff back in the dining room. It seems to be lingering, kind of sniffing us out, trying to figure out what we're all about. But I haven't walked into anything yet. I haven't, like, straight up felt anything yet.
Yeah, you guys should feel like right here, it's cold.
Go, Dave, go.
Yeah, I feel it.
It's cold.
Okay. We're gonna. Well, I'm going to walk to the center of the table. It's definitely colder under the table. I almost feel like it's moving, but I feel like it's kind of like all around us, observing us right now, just kind of studying and watching. It's a very smart energy.
It's a woman.
Oh yeah.
Unless.
Did you catch that? Did you?
Yes.
She said naturally it's a woman.
It might be multiple.
It
might be multiple. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Is a few, not just one. A few.
Did you eat your dinner?
Now, when we walked upstairs, when we were checked into our rooms, of course, we did book what supposedly the internet says is the haunted room 11. Although Elaine said since whatever's here has been migrating to more and more rooms. It's been reaching out to more and more rooms. When we checked into those 3 rooms upstairs, did you yourself feel anything from any of the rooms?
I felt things all over, but it was a steady feel. It was the same throughout. I forgot which room I went into, but one of them was a little bit more like prominent. But it's energies, they move. Sometimes they come up to you right away. Sometimes they linger. We're going to find it. I can't wait to actually just open up and feel. You know, it's funny. What I find right here. What is this? And what were you saying? There's a few musicians.
Yep.
How crazy is that? And she did say 2 people are going to call out at me.
Oh my God.
You remember?
Who said that?
That's right. She did say that, did you? Did we get that on recording? Should we explain that?
Okay, we'll explain this one thing if it's okay. The 2 musicians that might come to me. Okay.
I told you their name is Perry Yowell and Jim Snively. Perry was a bus driver for the local school district. He had a strange disease that was a little bit like cancer, but it wasn't cancer. They had to treat it with things. There was a shooting in our local school, and he photographed it, and they had told him no, and he kept it, and he had lost his job. And I think it demoralized him. But he was one of the finest music teachers around. And he played the bagpipes. His dog's name was Piper. And Perry was part of us, and we had his wake here. That's his picture on the wall where everybody signed to him. The other one was Jim Snively, and Jim was a much older person than Perry, and Jim was a old-fashioned free spirit, and he was in law enforcement, but he was also wrote fabulous song. Actually, the theme song for the inn is called Coffee, and we own the song, and it's just a wonderful song. Obviously, we drink coffee here. And Jim died on February 29th, trying to go down and see Fox News in the morning so he could annoy me the next day at Songwriters Workshop, because I'm the Republican and he was the Democrat, and he loved to have spar with me. And he died of a heart attack, and so his wife always teased me that I was the last woman he thought of, not her. Anyways, that very next day I flew back from Williamsburg in Virginia, where I was, and we had his wake here. And we had over 500 people that came to pay tribute to Jim, and they all signed pictures and that. So both Jim and Perry, because this is their home, this is where they played music, probably are here.
And you mentioned they'll be the ones to reach out to.
I think that if anybody reaches out to you, because you're the musician, they'll reach out to you.
The weird. All right, so I got to ask.
They both played the guitar.
All right, okay. Yes.
I mean, finish that thought, right?
Okay.
And so what did we find was a guitar pick on the floor, and I'm pretty sure housekeeping cleaned today.
Okay. My next question is: does anybody play guitar or play music that works behind the bar or close to, that might have been here today?
Oh no, not at all. Sunday was our brunch, and we all go to church on Sunday morning, and we had music last night. We had 4 musicians last night that played, but they played behind me, against the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been in their pocket, but I don't know that.
I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I think it's really strange that I just started talking about where I felt it initially and where it was the strongest, and I just happened to look down and there's a guitar pick right there as I'm pointing, and that's pretty cool. So, on that note, I'm gonna finish up. We're gonna finish dinner, and then we will continue our investigation.
Whoa! So just a little update. We're still eating dinner. Dave actually took a photograph of the area that Joe found the guitar pick upon first entering the Writers Inn. Just taking random photographs, establishing shots as he usually does. And in fact, there is not a guitar pick on that floor. So it came between the time we entered and Dave took that photo to when Joe discovered it appeared at some time during that period.
This episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy.com is offering our listeners a huge 30% discount on any new GoDaddy service. Go ahead and buy that domain you've always wanted. Build your dream website, sell your product, and communicate with your fans. Anything you need to get your business and ideas online and productive. To take advantage of the 30% discount, you must visit www.trygodaddy.com/SOS-radio. What are you waiting for? That's trygodaddy.com/SOS-radio. Start building your online presence today.
We are now walking back down. Okay, I can feel it really heavy in the hallway right now. Okay, so room 5 is where I said was, room 5. Where else? Is that room 6? Room 5 and room 6, those are both of the rooms that I felt it in. I am experiencing a very heavy presence right outside of room 5 right now. Can you it's jumping between 5 and 6 right now. So we're already experiencing it. Even Oscar's hair is standing on end right now, and Oscar is like a bag of dog poop when it comes to feeling things. Okay, so this is room Okay, back in room 6 now. It's like I'm standing where she felt it, and it's like, whoa, it is incredibly heavy in this spot right now, right at the foot of the bed. Where Lexi said she saw it standing, I just felt it really heavy here. And this is only 10 or 15 minutes after I was last in this room. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Everything was fine.
5 and 6. So we have confirmation from Lexi and Oscar. 5 and 6 have some crazy shit going on, which is what I experienced. Also, room 3. Those are the 3 rooms that I picked out. I picked out room 6 is the most intense room. 5 and 3 is like tied for second. Now, our room is wide open, which it was not before. I did close the door, but it's possible that we put all our stuff in that room, so it's possible that Lexi or Oscar went in there to get something. Did you guys go in the room to get something? Have you been up here yet, though?
No.
The door's wide open.
You weren't in that room?
What?
You weren't in that room?
I did not. You guys
Did
have
you
not.
take pictures in that room? Because we saw flashing in that room.
I was up here taking pictures a bit ago. I've been up here for about 5 minutes now.
Okay, what about like
But
a minute or ago? Were you in?
just to be clear, you guys did not go in this room.
We have not come in this room.
Okay, because this door was
We
closed.
were outside.
This door was closed.
Yeah.
When we went downstairs, I had closed the door, left the key in the door.
We're gonna bring our stuff to the other room.
Okay. So, the door to room 2 that I closed when we went down to eat. Nobody else is in the hotel right now except Elaine. And the room was wide open. When I went back up here, I thought it was Lexi or Oscar that went up to get something. But alas, it is not. So, to recap, room 3 definitely has a presence in it. Room 5 definitely has a presence in it, particularly in the bathroom. Hello, good to see you again. Coming out to say hello to me. Room 6, oh, now you're out in the doorway. Okay, hello. Room 6, and particularly the bathroom, room 6. Room 6 is definitely the strongest right now. Whew. Oh, it's in my head and it's following me down the hallway now. Okay. 7 and 8. So I'm not really feeling anything down this way towards Lexi and Oscar's room. Back in room 9 here. A little bit in room 9. And the bathroom of room 9. Just ever so slightly. Like a 4 or 5. Not like the other rooms where it was like a straight up 7 or 8. And then back over here by 10 and 11 where Oscar and Lexi are. And okay, so I can honestly say that I think my walkthrough investigation of the hotel is complete, even though it's not official, like we didn't really officially discuss it or anything, but I just decided to go ahead and walk around on my own. And my head is starting to hurt a little bit. I feel a little bit drained. Feels like somebody's digging something into my temple right now. Okay, so once again, I just saw something that looked like a little flash of light moving past me, but there's windows and I just took a picture, so I'm not counting that as anything. I'm gonna look out here and see. Oh, well, that's weird because that's just a straight up roof right out there, so there's no like cars going by or anything. So who knows what that was. Okay, so room 6 is the strongest to me right now, and room 5 is probably the second strongest to me right now, and room 3 is probably tied with 5 for most haunty feeling. We are sitting here in the banquet hall. I'm with Jay Knight and Lexi and Oscar, and we basically are just Joe's conducting his walkthrough upstairs, so we're just gonna kind of hang out in this banquet hall room where I feel is, I don't know why, but I feel that there's something in this room. I don't know what it's doing over here. I think this might be an addition. I'm not sure. But I just saw something in the window. Might have been a reflection. I don't know. So we're just going to sit in here and see if we can get some EVP.
Correct. So
do you want to ask it some questions?
Yeah.
We should each ask it a question and see if it'll answer.
So I'd like to kick it off. This is directed towards Suzanne, who is supposed to be the resident ghost here. Suzanne, do you recognize that we are here looking for you?
Okay. Suzanne, is your name actually Suzanne? What is your actual name? Can you tell us your name?
Okay, Suzanne, if that's your actual name, what is drawing you to this particular room in the hotel right now? Is it because we're here? How many are in the room? How many of you? More than one or just one?
And if you can sing it in a cappella, that would be great. I'm hoping that was Mike.
Mike's outside. He's leaving.
Elaine,
We just heard a noise in the kitchen.
where we can't go. So tell
Whoa.
us.
You saw that?
Kitchen's empty, guys.
One of these lights just flickered.
Which one?
Oh, okay, it's here. It is here. It just came through the ceiling. It made those lights flicker, and now it's in my face. You see my face right now?
Whatever's here, who are you?
Talk to me, man.
What the fuck is you know?
What do you want? Did Joe send you down here? You went up and screwed with Joe, and then Joe's like, go screw with him.
Oh my god.
You feel
What?
it?
It just brushed my hair. Like a full-on moving of the hair.
It's got to be a male ghost if it keeps messing with Lexi. Or it's a lesbian ghost.
It's right here too.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't.
Give us a sign. Move something. Give us a sign. Move something. Give us a sign. Move something.
All right, guys, it's Joe Erie. I'm walking in to do my walk around it. All right, just walked in and going upstairs. Okay. As I'm going up, I'm already getting at my head and my shoulders. It is strong. I definitely saw. I'm seeing little orbs. Okay, off to my right. I am lit up right now. This is crazy. Like it's normally not like this right away. Holy. Okay, I am walking in room 3 right now. Oh, I'm like. It is present. It is all over the place. It is so strong. Okay. Definitely in room 3. Okay. I'm not going into anything that's not opened. I am walking to the right of the stairs in this little hallway. Room 2. I don't know. I'm not really feeling anything in here right now. I kind of was earlier when we initially came in. Not so much now, but I'm getting pushed towards one right next to it, and that's Jay's room. That's the room he's going to sleep in tonight. It's definitely more in his room. The chair in the middle of Jay's room. It's definitely over here. Okay, and I just saw a shadow now in the bathroom. It's conjoining Dave's and I's and Jay's room. This keeps on moving. All right, so now I went through the bathroom back into our room. I literally saw the thing leave, a shadow. I'm smelling something. Cigarette. I smelled smoke. I do. I am smelling cigarette. It comes and goes. I'm in room 2. I smelled cigarette. A cigarette smoke. It's a weird smell. I don't know. It's cigarette mixed with something. And now I'm seeing something back in Jay's room. This is bouncing around. All the hair in the back of my neck. It is all over the place. This is crazy. I'm going back in room 3 next to ours. It is totally hiding out in here right now. All right, I'm walking to the left of the staircase upstairs now. Room 5. There's definitely something here, but it isn't so strong. It's definitely in here too, but not as strong. I just heard the floor squeak. I'm walking back to the area where Dave, Jay, and I are sleeping, the side of the stairs to the right, and I heard footsteps right in front. All right, I'm gonna go back. Obviously, that's haunted. Very strong activity. Okay, I'm walking to left. I am in room 6 right now. Oh wow. Okay, off to definitely the closet. The bathroom area in here to the left, and to the right there is an old dresser. I am definitely getting a vibe over here. It's in the corner by the dresser, and it's also I am lit up right now. And to the left of the room in the bathroom, yes. More towards the dresser. Alright, I'm walking down the hall. And room 11 is closed, and I can't go in. And I wonder, actually, it's locked, and I believe that is Oscar's room. And Lexi, I wonder if it was locked or I have to find out if that was open for me to go into, or somebody accidentally. We're gonna find out if somebody locked that or it locked by itself. I don't know if you heard that squeak. I just walked away from the room and something behind me just squeaked. There was footsteps behind me. That I have it all over my back right now. I feel like it's following me.
Okay, so we are here with Joe. He just conducted his walkthrough of the Riders Inn What are you getting, Joe?
Okay, so right off the bat, I walked up the stairs. I saw a few things at the corner of my eye, like a little orbs, like kind of just like floating around. I'm like, whoa. I was just starting to feel it in my chest, my shoulders, my head, and I saw some more orbs. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. I'm feeling it already. I started walking into room 3. Holy shit, dude, room 3. It was I was like overwhelmed in there. I'm like, okay, room 3 is crazy. I walked to the corner to the left of like the room, like by the window. I was like, I almost kind of just wanted to get out of there. I kind of felt like someone was going to slam the door on me. I'm like, ugh. So I walked out of room 3. I started walking over to our bedroom, which is I believe it's room 2. Okay, it was in our room, but I saw something in the corner of my eye by the bathroom, and I felt it in Jay's room, which was
great. Room 2 is the room that had the door open.
With us, yes.
Was the door closed or open when you went up there?
The door was open.
The door was not closed.
No, the door was open.
Door number 2 was open.
Door number 2.
Yeah, on
was
the
open.
left. Our room with our shit on the bed. It was wide open. I walked right into it.
The room with all of our stuff in it. Number 2, right next to it.
Yes.
The book room.
Yes. So okay.
Before I came back downstairs, I made it a point to close both room 2 and both room 1.
Well, I have another thing with this. This is okay.
So you're telling me that room 2's door was wide open when you went up there?
100%. Jay's room 1, that door was closed.
Jay's room 2.
I'm room 2.
No.
We're staying in room 1. Jay's staying in room 2.
Okay, so we switched it. Room 2. I'm saying the one with the 2 beds, like the smaller one with the books on the side, that was wide open.
That was the same room that was wide open when I went up there. That I know that I closed. I closed it. I closed it on the Tascam. I talked about closing it.
Okay. I didn't know we were switching rooms. Okay.
So you're saying without a doubt, room 2 door was open.
100%. That's the one with the bags all on the bed off to the left.
Did you close it when you came back down here?
No.
Okay.
No, I just left it as it is.
It's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. What the
So I felt it, and then in room 1, I'm like, oh shit. So I walked over to room 1, and I started feeling it in there. But then I saw it. Well, actually, so I walked in. I started feeling it. It was right in the middle by that chair. Okay. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I feel bad.
Remember how I said that we need to shut the lights off in these rooms because it's not going to be around if the lights are on?
It's true.
And I shut the lights off in both of those rooms before we came down.
And that's something else I noticed, because even like when you turn on a light or this and that, it kind of hides it. But okay, so I walked in, and it was totally by the chair, and I made a point. I'm like, man, I feel bad for Jay tonight. I'm like, oh. And then I saw it in the corner of my eye go to the bathroom, and the conjoining rooms.
Well, you saw what?
Just a shadow, just like a little, and I just saw some movement. So I'm like, oh, this thing keeps on moving. So I started kind of going after it like a little bit. Went back to room 3, felt it like, oh. Okay, started doing my walk around.
I will say room 3 is the first room that I felt it in.
Oh, okay, it was just very strong. Then, so there's everything everywhere. I'm feeling it right now, but it's that steady. Let's just say like it's like a 4, okay, through the whole building, okay?
Yeah.
But so I went in a couple other rooms, nothing much, but all of a sudden I went into room 6. Holy shit!
That's
holy
the same room.
shit!
That's the room I picked out as number 1. Lexi saw a figure in that room, standing right at the foot of the bed.
Oh my god! Okay, the bathroom was pretty crazy.
Yes, the bathroom is where it was hiding. When I first went up there, that's where it was.
But it was in the corner by that dresser in the front to the right.
That's exactly where I saw
Holy
it. That's
shit.
exactly where I saw it.
I'm like, oh my god! And I keep on feeling like something's gonna slam something. I felt very.
Oscar
I saw it in room 5.
Right after, seconds after I saw it, because I started running, and he's like, "Wait, I see something."
And then when I got Dave, we went up to look. We went to room 6. I felt it so strong at that corner with the dress.
Oh my god!
His hair stood on end.
Really?
Yes.
So that was like the oh my god feel. Okay, this gets better now. So well, it might not. It might not. It might not.
Wait, yeah.
So
okay.
then I
Let's
continue
hear.
down the hall, check out the rooms. There's stuff in the rooms for sure, but it's the steadiness. Nothing we're
but
talking
7,
about.
8, 9, 10, 11,
Wait,
not
let
a whole
him-
lot.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, 11. I didn't get a
Well,
chance to go into 11.
They were in
Whoa.
11. Lexi and Oscar, that's where they're staying.
That's fine.
I know. Did you guys lock the door?
I did.
Okay, then there we go. Because I was gonna say it's locked. I couldn't get in.
Why would you lock the door, you dips?
Because I'm like, well, number one, they could have locked it, you know. But if they didn't, that's crazy. Because I remember you were saying that one of the doors was shut or open or something. But okay, I didn't get a chance to go in 11 because it was locked. So that.
We could go in right now.
So you said it got even crazier. What happened?
Well,
Yeah,
I said it could or it couldn't because okay, nothing locked that door. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Got it.
Because if they had it open and it was locked, who did it? But they did it. So, and there's nobody up there. Nobody to do anything.
It's us and the owner right now.
Yeah.
The cook
And the
left.
owner's been at the bar this whole time on the phone and doing paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay, so the most important question probably, for the night,
Who's staying in room 6?
what's up with my room number 2?
And you guys are switching.
Well, we switched already. So that's his room's 2 and we're 1 now, right?
Yeah,
I'm 2.
that's how we started.
Yeah.
That's
So
how-
you lucked out.
Staying in room 6.
No, you said 2, the door opened.
Well, no, the door was just open. I mean, I didn't see it happen, but all I know is I felt something that chair in the middle of room 1, and I was like, oof. And it keeps on going back and forth.
Opening its door, so
Yes.
we should set my camera up or something to see if we
Do
can
each
catch
of your
that.
rooms have
Oh,
books
oh.
with people's experiences?
You know what? I forgot.
I don't know. I
I
gotta
forgot
check.
to mention
Mine
something. Your room 11, it was locked, but I wasn't even feeling anything at that time. It wasn't like, oh. I turn around, I start walking away, and all of a sudden I heard footsteps behind me, walking towards me, and my back just lit up, and I'm like, oh. And I turned around, and it was just, I'm like, all right, and it just kind of went away. But that's so. I mean, I
Did
literally.
you get anything in room 5?
Is that the one in the middle?
Yes.
With the weird
A little bit, not
doll?
like I mean.
With that monkey doll.
I just did a quick walkthrough, like where I'm like feeling very heavy. I felt things in a lot of the rooms, but nothing to talk about, like, the main things. But I did a little bit in that room, but not as much as I had to write down so I remember.
When I first walked through, 3 was definitely the
Dude, yes,
definitely was the room.
3 and
where it
6
was hanging.
were ape shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and
oh.
3 and 6 were both
And-
the rooms
yeah.
I picked out.
6 was like, oh man, that corner section. It's just.
And
Yeah.
5 I didn't feel anything in 5 until the second time I
A
walked
little bit.
by.
So what is
After I
this?
mentioned it?
What's that, Oscar?
I said, Dave, you didn't feel anything in room 5 until after I saw whatever?
No, it was before you saw it.
Oh,
But
okay.
when I came and talked to you when you guys were in your room,
Uh-huh.
I hadn't felt anything in 5 yet. It was on the way back that I felt something in 5.
You know, how cool is it that we're like starting to do this now? The separate walkthroughs. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's
because not only like for the listeners, it's a confirmation for me.
And I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell in our
Great
voices
point.
that we're not making this shit up. Like, you can tell.
Dude, it's
when
crazy, man.
when I get hit by those things, you can hear it in my voice that I'm like genuinely feeling something.
You might have been able to hear the footsteps too when I was leaving room 11.
Oh, we have
it's
to
it's
listen.
squeak
I'm gonna
pretty
take
loud.
this Tascam.
It's
Do
ready
you
to
need
go.
Okay.
Oscar's key for room 11?
No, fuck room 11.
Okay.
I'm gonna go upstairs right
All
now.
right.
Like
That's-
I was like scared. Like I mean, honestly, like something like I felt like something was like I think I honestly like I kind of felt like something was trying to scare me. You know?
I was scared. Well, it was my first time because I didn't see it. Like, first I saw it at the side, but I turned and both my eyes saw it full on.
Like a shadow figure.
Like a shadow figure just standing there by the dresser.
That's crazy.
And that, what
Like,
was
it
that?
didn't move either. It was like, hey, look at me.
And the crazy thing is, you feel stuff, but
Yeah.
Oscar saw it after that.
I know.
That's the crazy thing.
That's what really, like, gave
Yeah.
me confirmation. I'm like, okay, this is legitimately happening. I actually saw it.
And as I was walking back, I heard footsteps behind me, the creak, and I looked, but before I got a chance to look
Where did
back,
Oscar
it was
go?
all on my back, and I was like, whoa, that was awesome. That was awesome. I can't wait to, yeah.
So we all experienced room 6. I
Yeah.
saw a person standing in it. Like, me and Oscar, we were just
Soldier or a person?
It was just a black figure. So me and Oscar were just leaving there and we were walking. And in my peripheral, I thought I saw something. I'm like, so I looked, both my eyes saw it. Not even right here, like right here. I saw it. So I bolted because I'm a scaredy cat, okay? I've had some terrible experiences as a kid, and I'm still healing from the trauma of that. But, like, that's a long story. Anyway, so then I'm running. Oscar stops in room 5. He's looking in room 5. I'm like, what? He's like, wait, I see something. And Oscar's like, great ball.
Oscar, he never sees anything. He's like, yeah, no. This is the first time I've ever heard
I saw
Oscar
his hair
say,
standing on its arm.
I wasn't there to see anything.
Also,
whose hair? Oscar's?
Yes. And when I just walked up there,
seeing something, it was the same thing I just saw.
when I just walked up there now, I saw something in room 5 too. It was like a little. It was about.
Are you sure that you create a positive energy? Because I don't want you to leave the inn and have everybody disturbed.
Yeah.
You need to say we're here to respect you.
Yes.
We're here to care for you. If you have a message, let us have it. But
no, it's not a bad energy at all.
But at room 5 just now, I saw like it was probably about 2 or 3 feet tall. Just a little wisp of like white kind of moved it around the corner of the room as I walked past.
What I saw was really tall.
That was in room 5. Room 6 is where you saw your thing.
Yes, really tall. And Oscar saw the same exact thing, really tall in room 5.
Okay, listeners, it is the next morning at the Riders Inn here in Painesville, Ohio. Lexi had some experiences last night in her bedroom. Now, you and Oscar were staying in room 11.
Yes.
What the internet tells us is the most haunted room. I can tell you, myself, I was up till just past 3 doing stuff for the podcast. I didn't experience anything. Actually, I slept pretty good.
Okay.
Dave and Joe, haven't really talked to them yet this morning, did see them. I figure first thing in the morning they would have told me if something happened. So I'm assuming nothing happened with them. Well, I guess with that, let's get into what Lexi experienced. I can't talk this morning. I haven't had enough coffee. All right, Lexi, so tell us loud and clear what happened with you. Because maybe, thank you, maybe nothing was happening to me, Dave, or Joe because it was all focused on you.
Well, it would have been focused on me and Oscar if he took his headphones out, because the footsteps were very clear and right next to us. So he was editing the show, which I understand. He had to have his headphones, and I'm like, at least pop one out or listen to it without the headphones, Because, I kept hearing footsteps right next to my side of the bed, and they weren't, faint. They were loud, Oscar was walking, someone with, a little bit more weight than me was walking on it. They were very distinct footsteps.
Wow.
So, I turned around, obviously nothing was there, but I felt the energy of Suzanne, which very motherly. It's super warm, so I wasn't as afraid, besides, the usual fear I have of hearing something and not seeing it there. That's, my big thing. Because, I don't know. I'm a scaredy cat.
That's scary.
So, I kept hearing the footsteps. I was like, oh my gosh, Oscar, footsteps, ah. And then he, put his headphones out. He's like, what did you say? He was getting crabby because they kept talking. So I'm like, okay, nothing, sorry, go back to editing. And then he went back to editing, and I was just hearing this stuff, and, I decided to fall asleep. So I turned backside towards the curtains where I heard the footsteps. And as I did, I felt her come up on the bed and lay right next to me. I felt the weight, the cold, energy, that energy, just directly next to me. And then, when you hang upside down on monkey bars, your head gets that rush when you stand back up, that crazy blood rush.
Yeah.
That's exactly, how my head was feeling. It was just going crazy, energy up and down, and then I felt, paralyzed to the bed a couple times. I couldn't move for a couple seconds. I couldn't speak because this energy was just so strong on top of me. And then, once I thought in my head, okay, now I'm a little afraid, I can't move, that's when the second it stops, and then I was able to move flip side. And once I flip side my face to the curtain, I felt it boom in my face. If I was able to see her, we would be nose to nose. That's how it felt. It was my face was right in her face. I felt the body, my feet were by her feet.
So at that point, were you scared? Was it a bad feeling, or?
It felt like cuddling up to my mom.
Yeah, that's
but my mom wasn't there.
Wow.
And in the closet is a long white dress.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have pictures.
I was about to mention it.
And then in the booklet, because we have a booklet, I took a bunch of pictures of the pages with people who say they experienced Suzanne.
Oh, good
One
idea.
of them
Maybe we
was
could read some of those.
we didn't see her, but we felt her hanging out by the closet where her white dress is.
Stop it.
Really?
Yes, it's like an old-fashioned, like an old-timey long gown, maybe like a sleeping gown. But it's like maybe today it can be construed as a white dress, like in today's fashion.
Whoa! I had no idea that was in the closet.
Yeah. I didn't either. He was like, "Oh, look at this robe, Alexis." And I turned, I'm like, "That's no robe. That's not a robe, Oscar." He's like, "You should put it on." I'm like, "No. I'd rather not disturb it."
I wanted to take a picture with her on it, with her in it.
You wanted to role play is what you wanted to do.
No, I didn't. Yeah, but I just wanted her to wear. Yeah, role play as a ghost. I don't care. I'm down with whatever. Yeah, I just wanted her to wear it and take a picture of it. That'd be kind of cool, but she didn't want to.
We've had some pretty extraordinary experiences. We all had experiences, actually, all 5 of us. That's a first time. Yeah. That is a first time. As soon as we walked in the door, things started happening. So we have so many separate files on multiple Taz cams. It's been very hectic. This has been a very hectic investigation.
It is strong. This is crazy. It's normally not like this. It is all over the place. Like I was like scared. Honestly, like I kind of felt like something was trying to scare me.
I was scared.
I'm so drained mentally. I feel like my brain has been scrambled. I guess we can say that the Rider Inn is definitely haunted by several energies. I can't really specify what they are, where they're from.
But as Dave said, definitely haunted. One thing I did forget to mention, we did do a live stream on YouTube, a complete walkthrough of the Riders Inn, so you could see exactly the spots we're talking about. So be sure to check out the Supernatural Occurrence Studies YouTube page. And the live stream is called Haunted Riders Inn, Painesville, Ohio. And leave us some comments.